Hello everyone, we're back to H13.2. I was supposed to be editing some bigger projects yesterday, but instead of that I just played Dark Knights for a few hours. The lens I'll go to avoid editing. Or maybe I just like playing Dark Knights. Nah, couldn't be that. Anyhow, if you watch my channel a lot, you might have remembered me posting something similar before, but I couldn't do it with 8 operators. I had a problem I couldn't resolve. Turns out that there's no problem at all. I just made certain assumptions that made the stage much harder than it needed to be. We'll get to them a bit. The core of the stage is more or less the same. We use Myrtle to push the cards really quickly with Ethan S1, that way we get rid of the slug spawners to simplify the stage. Bubble is used to kill off the slugs, so we need to be really careful to make sure that slug on low health from Ethan survives until the first spawner explosion. If it dies too early, it goes on the other side. It's all based on when Ethan binds it, how many binds, etc. It's a whole thing, we won't get too much detail explaining. Here is where the bad assumption happened before. I had assumed that I had to face Deadcells down, because if I faced her to the right, she will push the card all the way to the left side, and that will buff all the whips there, causing a huge problem. Now this isn't true for two different reasons. First of all, I could have timed the casters, or rather the car spawn, in such a way that the casters simply kill the car before it runs away, because before Ethan is deployed, the car doesn't move at all. The second part I was wrong about is that it's a huge problem if the car goes to the other end. It's actually not. So what I did is I just faced Deadcells to the right, which is something we need for a bit later. Because there's a defender and 2 casters on Bubble, she cannot block the slugs coming on the top, and we don't have enough DPS to kill them just yet. But if we use Deadcells S2 and some of her tentacles, we can stall the big slugs for just a few seconds, allowing us to kill the casters. Susuru keeps everything alive in the meantime. Small bit of trickery due to Hummus's positioning. So technically, if the defender on the bottom is blocked normally, the one on the top lane is closer to the blue box, because of angles and whatnot. So we needed to push him into Hummus's style a bit, so Deadcells prioritizes that one. The one on Bubble is completely irrelevant, but the one on Hummus needs to die as fast as possible, otherwise they will kill Hummus. The card is coming to all the whips, and because the whips have an unfortunate quality of having an attack range longer than their absorption range, you'll notice that only one of them gets healed when the card dies. Pay attention to it, and only one of them gets 4000 health. Oh, the others get nothing. With the casters dead, all of the slugs get blocked, and Hummus with S2 survives long enough to DPS down the slugs. All that's left is to take care of the whips, which is just cycling Korra S2 and Susuru S2, same as before here. Really, the lesson I should take from this is that it's very important to re-examine my assumptions when I get stuck on a complex problem. Because even if something seems self-evident and obvious, it's not necessarily true in every circumstance. It might be generally true, but not in this case. Sure, keeping the cart away from the whips makes sense, but in this particular circumstance, there was no reason to prioritize that over protecting Deadcells more effectively from the casters. In my previous run I had to use a bunch of tentacles for that. Here I didn't, so I just had more tentacles to use on the slugs on the top. And now all that's left is for the 2 whips to die. With Susuru and Korra cycling so perfectly, it's pretty easy to take care of them. One last bit of trickery. We don't use click S2 until the second to last whip dies. The point of this is that we want more stuns on the second one, since he will live long enough to outlast Korra S2, and then he can actually damage Korra. A funny thing about the whips, by the way, they actually don't get healed by summons, so you can block them with summons just fine and they won't get anything from killing them. Not that it will matter, because Korra's not going to die either. And that's the home maps. GG.